on, guys? So in this video I'm going to be dedicating it to what happened to my BMW 335i. If you guys are new to the channel, you may or may not know that I did, before my E92 M3, I had an E92 2011 335i, which actually the way that it was spec'd looked very similar to this car. It was the same color and everything like that. So in early 2017, I hit a patch of ice and the car was totaled, you know, fully insured and all that stuff. So I pretty much just took the insurance money and bought this car, and never fully knew. I knew it went to an auction house, but recently I actually was in contact with the guy who bought it, and I kind of just want to tell you that story because there's been a couple comments here and there's been a couple messages back and forth, and a couple of those things were me and other people, and I was really skeptical at first. So I really just want to sort of lay out the story as I know it, because I think it's really cool, especially with the power of social media. It's sort of like, how do you find someone? And I don't really have a huge channel, but it's just crazy that they are able to find me kind of through YouTube and, you know, other social media. That it's just so cool to me. So the guy's name is Dennis. So if you're watching this, Dennis, thank you so much for all the information. I know I asked for a lot, but I was really interested, and throughout the video I'm going to be putting in pictures for you guys that Dennis sent me. Let me just jump to the beginning of the story, where the 335i was sent to an auction house. It was auctioned off, and actually the previous owner, the guy who bought it first, was not Dennis. It was a different guy who, from what I understand, was planning to engine swap it, take the engine, the N55 engine for my 335i, and put it in a E36, I believe. So I think he was putting it into an E36. I don't really know exactly what happened, if he just got busy or whatever, but that project never ended up happening. So that was the guy who bought it from the auction house initially. He was going to put it in the E36 and he didn't. So Dennis was bought an X5, and there was an issue with the camshaft. Apparently it was bent or broken, or there was some issue with it. He mentioned to me that he does a lot of he'll buy a car that has an issue or whatever, he'll fix it, drive it for a bit, and then usually sell it for a profit. But he said the X5 was, of course, a special case where it needed a lot of work. So what happened is he was looking for an engine, because, you know, at that point, you know, you pretty much, you need to rebuild the whole thing. So he found the engine online and bought it from the guy who bought it first, that didn't do the engine swap for his E36. And that guy, who I feel like I have messaged, so I forget your name and I'm sorry, but that guy actually told Dennis that, you know, I'm a YouTuber, or I have a channel, or I have an Instagram or whatever. And Dennis sent me a message, and originally I never really thought anything of it. This was a few months ago, actually, I think. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, you know what, I should like, you know, see if he's legit and get info and all that stuff. So recently I reached out, and that's kind of where I got all the information. But anyways, Dennis got the engine from the guy who originally bought it. What did he do? He just bought the engine itself, and as far as I know, the body of the car was just parted out. I think that the original guy who got it from the auction house parted out the rest of the body, or sold it to a junkyard, because there's really so much frame damage. There was really not a lot you could do. Dennis sent me this long email, and I really want to thank you so much for putting in the effort. A few paragraphs here. It's really a cool read, and that's kind of like the power of this channel. It's really cool stuff happens, and it's really nice to share it. So he said it took him about 3 weeks. He pretty much did an engine swap into an X5, obviously. So, and he sent pictures, so I'm just gonna kind of go by. I have the pictures on my phone, and then I'll put them in the video. The first one is, I guess the car is probably not drivable if the camshaft had an issue. But, you know, there you can see it. You know, it's got its original engine in there, and you know, the pictures kind of speak for themselves. And then here we have the new N55 engine, which is a good engine. I mean, even for the bigger, heavier SUV, I mean, it's, you know, obviously it's going to do just fine. And he said he did all the work by himself in his garage with a little bit of help, I think he said, from his dad. And there's a couple really cool pictures of like the engine out and then the new engine in on the hoist, and then the car, he has a scissor lift outside of his garage and it's like way in the air and it looks so cool. And as far as I know, it's working well. I think he still has the X5. I don't know if he's going to sell it or keep it forever or whatever his plans are, but that's totally fine. But anyways, I just thought that this was such a cool story, sort of to, instead of sort of like a dedication video, it's just a video to sort of remember the car. That car really kind of started my channel in a sense. You know, it was a cool performance car, it was a BMW, so I started a lot of the videos based off of that platform, which of course ended abruptly and I drove my Jeep around for a bit. But then later, a few months later, I got the E92 M3, which is of course bringing you guys a lot of content as well. So I do miss that car, but you know, obviously the M is a lot different. It's looks similar from, you know, 100 feet away, but you know, close up and the driving dynamics are totally different. So I just thought it was super cool to sort of explain what happened and kind of go back to the story and to the fact that this guy Dennis like was willing to send me the pictures and everything. I mean, it's not every day that you have someone that buys your totaled car, finds you, seeks you out, messages you, and is willing to tell you the story and type out a long email. So once again, thanks so much. I'm glad that the low mileage, I mean, man, there's 30 something thousand miles on that car, is like nothing. And I actually really didn't beat on it that hard. So the miles that were on it were Texas, Florida, and a little bit Ohio, and trust me, it really wasn't a lot. So it's a bulletproof engine, and hopefully the X5 is suited well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video. It does take a decent amount of effort to get these videos up and processed and edited and all that good stuff. So I do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next time.